Today I'm going to be reviewing this Airzooka that I recently purchased on Amazon. Now, if you've never heard of these before, essentially what you do is you pull it back and it shoots a puff of air out of this Airzooka. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to show you how it works. And I'm also going to test it on I'm just going to put some paper onto a table on the floor or something like that and see how well it actually moves, just so you can kind of see how much air it's putting out, whether it's just, a little bit of air, like a little fan blowing, or if it actually does shoot pretty hard, like you'd expect an Airzooka to do. So let me go ahead and open this up here, and then I'll be right back with you once I get this open. It looks like it's going to be taped. So when you first open it up, this is what it's going to look like inside. So it's going to be the Airzooka. It's going to be the instruction pack, it looks like. And then not sure what that thing is. Obviously, I'll need to read the instructions. This is all going to be wrapped and sealed up. Looks like it's going to be taped here across the front. So let me go ahead and go through and read the instructions, see exactly what assembly it needs. It does look like it needs a little bit of assembly, just in comparing this to the pictures on the box. It does look like it's going to need to be put together. So let me go ahead and do that process. So the first thing you're going to do is you're actually going to just pull this out. So this part is together, but you just have to pull it out to get it to actually be the correct length. So it's going to pull in on this, and then that is what's actually going to make the air kind of fly out. So you will need to line these up, essentially where it's going to be the A at. You're going to want to make sure it's that same line all of the way down the side. So that's going to be your first step of the assembly process. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put the handle right here on the bottom of this. So it's going to slide right in here. You can see it's got the holes here that will match up with these. And then it has these little plastic clips that are going to go there and then also there. So essentially this is just going to go right into there. And then it is then going to clip into place after you line up those holes. Once you line up those holes, it's going to have these little screws. These are going to be little flathead screws that essentially are going to fit right through here onto this to hold your handle in place. And the last thing you're going to do before you use this is you're just going to take this and it's going to go right on top here where these 4 clips are. This, you don't have to use this, but this is going to be your scope almost. So it's kind of a fun way to look down the scope and to shoot the air out using this little machine, or using this little, it's not a machine, I guess, but this Airzooka. Now, once you're ready to fire this Airzooka, you're going to grab the handle here at the bottom, and you're just going to pull out on this, and then you're going to let it go. Now, I didn't have the screws on here yet. I was kind of testing it out, and you can see that it did have plenty of power here to kind of launch that backwards. So now let me go and grab some paper, and we'll see how strong that air that comes out of here actually is going to be. So I'm got a couple pieces of paper laying here on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and use this to launch it. We'll see how much air it actually puts out. So essentially you're just going to grab this little thing on the inside, pull it out, and then I'm going to then let it go once I have it all of the way back. So you can see it kind of moved the paper a little bit, but it's not putting out a ton of air. It's enough to barely move that paper over there, but it's not going to be a massive amount of air. So although it is going to be a pretty cool thing for younger kids to play around with, it's not actually going to have a lot of air movement with it. So it's not it's going to be a massive puff of air. I would say it's a little fan, just a smaller puff. So definitely not something that would be called a bazooka. It is kind of large, as you can see here, and I'll give you those measurements of it here in a minute. But overall, it doesn't shoot a massive amount of air, not as much as I was thinking anyway. So total size on this, the length on this bazooka, air bazooka itself, is going to be about 10.5 inches across. At the bottom is going to be about 8 inches or so. And then here at the top is going to be about 11 inches. So definitely going to be a relatively large, but doesn't shoot as much air as you might expect from something called an Airzooka.